Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading, and today is June 16th, 2025, and today is Monday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, oil spiking on Middle East war. But first, no major economic events scheduled for today. So looking at the markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, the euro is just off of its highs. And looking at the indices, the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ have a huge sell-off. Now looking at commodities, it's not just oil that's by. Gold had a little bit of a bounce. And looking at the stocks, despite the fact that the market sold off, Tesla showed some green and gained on the upside, ironically. And lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin gets a bounce. So let's take a look at markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go with the Euro USD. Now it's just off of its highs. It is at 116.26 and just got off of it at 115.50. So it's about 76 pips away. So that's a nice recovery for the Euro USD. And it is challenging that upper limit. Now, as we're looking at it, it did break out higher. So all intents and purposes, this retracement is just that, a retracement. And we would anticipate that it would go higher. Just keep an eye on it because it is still in play. Now looking at the GBP USD, didn't do much here, but it did get a little bit of a bounce here if we look at a 1 hour chart. But looking at a daily, kind of see it's not doing much, okay? Really, on a level that GBP usually trades with much more veracity and much more volatility than the other markets. Now looking at the commodities, all right, let's just jump straight into it. Gold did increase itself to 34.25, but crude oil is the one. Okay, we had this massive spike to $77. Yes, we did make a correction. Let's see if this correction continues. I mean, the unrest in the Middle East is going to continue, and with that, the price of oil and the lack of direction with the price of oil is going to continue as well. So keep that in mind also. Now, looking at the U.S. markets, they did sell off. Looking at the NASDAQ first, it is bouncing this morning, but it did sell off. And the Dow Jones also, you could see that a decent sell-off there. Now, the stocks, okay, let's take a look at it. They were due for a sell-off, okay? That's the first thing I'll say. Because the stocks did hit either most of them to new all-time highs, like Microsoft, okay, which hit all-time record highs and still there for all intents and purposes, or it came very close to it. So if you look at Meta, it was very close back to its highs, but it did sell off, right? Now, looking at Tesla, this is where it gets really interesting because Tesla was green on the day, okay, altogether 325, making a comeback while the rest of the market sold off and people taking some money off of the table. So with that all said, you got to take this into consideration. The markets are rotating, and sometimes it's going to be Tesla that's going to be strong, sometimes it's going to be Microsoft. And that's the nature of it. Now, NVIDIA did taper off as it made that recovery, but the sell-off I don't see is justified. Now, we do have FOMC coming up this week, so that's a major event as things are still unfolding. And lastly, looking at Bitcoin, bouncing nicely above 106. It has been in a very, I don't want to say tight range, but it's been in a range, okay, for quite some time, ever since it cleared that 100K. We did go to our all-time record highs of 111, and then, reshifting back to 100K, and now we're somewhere in the middle of it, so it's really hard to decipher which way it's going to go. So with all intents and purposes, Bitcoin is midpoint. So that's it for the Daily Review. We'll see you here tomorrow, everybody. Have a great day.